Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to move on. We're going to use a template engine's power. If you haven't followed along in the last video, I really recommend watching this first one. That's where we set everything up. One of the greatest features of using template engines is being able to pass variables from the server to the template file before rendering it to HTML. In your Pug file, you're able to use a variable by referencing the variable name as pound variable name inline or with other text on an element by using an equal sign with the element without a space, such as p is equal to variable name, which assigns the variable's value to the p element's text. Cool. So there's two ways to do that. Pay attention that one, you can kind of inject it like this, or you can say make whatever it is within an HTML element of p. We strongly recommend looking at the syntax and the structure of Pug on GitHub's README. So I'm not going to go through this in great depth. You could spend a bunch of time, and it's recommended if you actually like this. I don't actually like this framework very much, but it makes sense to learn. So yeah, if we see it's renamed from Jade, that tells us some stuff. It gives us some information about how to upgrade from Jade. This is how we set it up. This is how we install it. We can go pug help. It looks like if we could go pug -- help. Maybe not. Run with pug MPL. Oh, so this is the Pug command line interface. Now, I'm not sure if we need that, so we won't get it from now. Here they give you an example. Here's like, here they do an if statement within the line. So title, head, script, if foo bar 1 + 5. Container column. Notice that they've really cut down the HTML here and the closing tags. So this right here, in Pug, would render out to here. So if you are using Pug, it's going to print out your amazing. So it's going to print out your amazing here. Else, get on it. Get on it's not printed out. So you can see that Pug can make if-else statements. It looks like, yeah, maybe, so p dot, perhaps that's like your closing tag, container column. Div container class column, so container dot column, so dot call makes it so that it renders out a class. P, you're amazing, and then it looks like they needed to do the end p here, which is, or p dot. Yeah, or maybe it's just that I think that's like a closing tag perhaps. Pug is a terse. Oh no, so p dot is going to give you this. Pug is a terse simple templating engine. So p dot, and then they were able to add it to a second line. So that tells us a lot about how this stuff works. Sweet. So let's go back to the information. Pug's README here. We're going to keep this open. Pug is all about using white space and tabs to show nested elements and cutting down on the amount of code needed to make a site beautiful. Looking at your Pug index file. Okay, so now let's move this over here. And here we can look to our Pug index file. Another note, I practiced this beforehand. Now you'll notice my syntax is red and blue, and it makes it easier to read. And that's because in Atom I got a package called Pug something. Let's see, packages, view, package setting or settings view, open. If you look at packages on the settings view, you'll find that language-pug-jade. So this is the one that I want. You should be able to get this. I think it's Atom Package Manager, APM, and then install language-pug-jade. But if you can't find that one, I think you can just go Google language Pug Jade, and that'll get you the package. Yeah, so it's an Atom package, and you should be able to find that for whichever you're using. If you're using Visual Studio Max or whatever, they're going to have some sort of a syntax highlighting. So yeah, if you go to the index page, it's got the syntax highlighting. Let's go back to our information. Look at your Pug file, index.pug, included in your project. We will use variables title and message. So where do we see it here? Here's our message, and this is that initial one. So we've got a p with a class of Pug variable, and inside of that p element, we're going to have a message, and then another one is title. So here they're rendering it in title, which is going to be what looks like inside of an h2 element. Cool. So it should look like, okay, so to pass those along from our server, you will need to add an object as a second argument to res.render, this variable and their values. For example, pass this object along setting the variables of your index view. Okay, so I'm going to go nodemon and start our server. And so now we should have our local server running. Now, if we refresh the page, we'll see it. Oops. If we refresh, looks like this page is being rendered in Pug HTML exclamation point, but there is nothing else here. You'll notice that the title is not being rendered there. And so that's what they want us to do. And so we want to do this server side. So I'm going to open up our server.js, and then they give us a good example here of how to do this. So res.render, and then they're doing process.cwd. What does that get us? That gets you like the root. So it'll get like local, like URL. And wow, so they've really just done it for us here. So I'm just going to copy this and views pug index, views pug index, res.render, and then so this gets us the root URL. This is useful to use. You wouldn't want to put localhost in here because when you push your code to production, you're going to have desolate Savannah. So process.cwd gets you this part of your URL, and then of your file structure. And then so we're going to go views pug index, views pug index, and then we're setting variables. We're passing in to, okay, so it's res.render, and so here is our first element, which tells us where this is going to go, and then there's an object which tells us what we're putting in there. And so I always format my objects like this just because I think it looks, because I think it makes it look useful, like it makes it organized. So we've got our title of hello and our message there. So if I save this, you'll notice our nodemon restarts our server, and so now we can just refresh we need to make sure we're at local, and then we can refresh here. And then, so it shows hello, please log in. And so that means hello and please log in. If we were to put exclamation points here and save that, our server would restart, refresh. You can see that we're passing in variables from our server-side language. That's actually really interesting because that's the first time where we can do full stack development where we're setting variables in our server and they're showing up on our front end. And so anyways, I'm taking away those exclamation points because I think that this is everything we need to do for here. Refresh the page, you should see those values rendered in your view in the Pug file. And so we want to submit the thing. Now, so one thing that we haven't done is we haven't pushed our local code to our production server. This is our production server, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go get status. We'll see that we've just adjusted the server. So git add, git commit -m, add variables to pug index view. And now we're going to go git push Heroku. And so this will re-push our code to the production app, and that'll make it so that this desolate Savannah will have hello and please log in the production code. So what we just have to do now is wait for this guy to go through. Cool. So now it shows that it's been deployed to desolate Savannah. So if we come up here and refresh, we're going to see hello and please log in. So we're passing variables to our production app. So now we can take our production app URL and paste it here. And then we can say we completed the challenge. Awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next lesson.